The state's opposition has wasted no time swooping on Maitland MP Robin Parker's decision to retire from politics, saying it's more proof the coalition is turning its back on the region. Ms Parker today admitted her demotion from the front bench helped her step away from public life.
They don't call it the Hunter Liberals' fatal shore for nothing. Last night, the coalition's last man, or in this case woman, standing, decided to walk.
I could certainly see myself as a Member of Parliament for a few years, but I'd hate to cause a by-election, so it's time to move on. It's a personal decision.
Maitland MP Robin Parker says her decision not to contest the election was made easier after she was dumped as Minister for the Environment and Heritage.
There are challenges all the time, and all you can do is deal with what's in front of you.
And the Liberals' tumultuous time at the ICAC didn't help either.
Some people made some, decisions along the way that weren't the best choices, but ultimately the Hunter is richer for a bad government.
But the opposition says it should be the beginning of the end for the party in the region.
This signals the last departure of a surviving coalition MP in the Hunter. It's now a mass evacuation of Liberal and National MPs.
But Ms Parker says there's plenty to be proud of.
Infrastructure projects from the roundabout to the new hospital are committed, a new public hospital. The Premier said that'll be built within 5 years.
Christy Reading, NBN News.
Newcastle Art Gallery supporters today applied pressure on budding state politicians, calling on them to publicly pledge their support for the proposed redevelopment. And for once, there was consensus, each candidate agreeing to vigorously campaign for funds if elected.
A rare united front, 7 state candidates from all sides of politics.
One of the journalists in the crowd quipped that it's great to see consensus on an issue, and it doesn't happen very often.
Each pledged support on paper for the $21 million gallery redevelopment.
If we had more space, we'd be able to exhibit more, and that would be a big attractor for tourists to come to Newcastle.
The extension is back on the political radar after the opposition's $14 million commitment last week. But a few stumbling blocks remain. Labor must win in March, or the Baird government would need to do an about-face on the project. Plus, Council needs to reallocate $5 million previously set aside.
The state candidate for Newcastle may well be in opposition, and not be in a position of power. But if enough people make their voices heard, then the state government has to listen.
We've got a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity with the sale of the port, $1.5 billion. Some of that money needs to come for the art gallery extension.
Meanwhile, the Shadow Environment and Energy Ministers were in town with a $14 million election promise.
Funding boost to the Newcastle Institute for Energy and Resources so they can ramp up their important work on energy storage.
They want a national hub for renewable energy in the Hunter.